This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello everyone and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by the beautiful and talented Maria Ho. We've got a brand new episode of the HPT for you tonight as we come to you from the Ameristar Casino Hotel right here in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
James, the Southern hospitality down here in Vicksburg is no joke. The people here are so friendly and the Ameristar staff has done everything they can to make this an enjoyable trip all week long.
We have a few first-timers at this final table, but there are some familiar faces as well.
Gary Gurman has seen some success at the poker tables over the years. This is his 4th appearance in front of the HPT cameras. Jay Bishop is another familiar face. Bishop is going for back-to-back wins here at Ameristar Vicksburg.
Well, good luck to all of our players. Let's head down to the final table, look at the chip counts and the prize payouts, because let's be honest, that's the most important part.
First place is going to walk away with the title of HPT champion, as well as $43,500 and change. Second place takes home over $26,000, and our third place finisher will walk away with $17,438. Jay Bishop is the chip leader coming into this final table. He has $820,000 in chips. Jonathan Hart has $671,000 in chips. Jesus Cabrera, $479,000. And our short stacks are Shane Leah and Marco Moran.
And action will start with the 6th seat of Ryan Enos. He's going to fold. His plans for the cash, by the way, wants to get his wife a new car. Good priorities there, Mr. Enos. Folded around to Jesus Cabrera. Looks down at pocket jacks. Lives now in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a poker pro.
35,000.
Jesus Cabrera with pocket jacks is going to raise to 35,000.
Folded to Gary in seat 2. He folds as well.
Action now to Jonathan in the 3 seat. He folds. Now to Marco, seat number 4 with Jack 10 of hearts.
Marco is in the small blind. And, you know, he is very short. He's only got 6 big blinds. So, you know, it's kind of the spot that he's thinking about taking to gamble here.
This is crazy. That first hand, huh? This is crazy. First hand.
Comes to this final table with only 48,000 chips, so I got a feeling they're all going to get in the middle here, and I think he's stalling a little bit, as I would too. He's trying to get as much TV time as he can because it could be it after this. He's all in.
My name is Marco Moran from Columbia, Louisiana. Tune in to watch me have the greatest comeback ever, the lowest chip stack to #1 today.
Action over to Jay Bishop now.
I call.
And Jay Bishop with Ace-King is going to make the call. Action now over to Jesus. Just 12,000 more for him.
12 more, right?
And he's going to do just that. So 3 players go to the flop now. Marco all in. He's probably liking 2 callers here. He can use the chips if he wins this hand.
Yeah, and with a hand like Jack 10 suited, I think it's best for multi-way pots anyways. The flop is King 8-5, 2 hearts, so Marco has flopped a flush draw. Jay has flopped top pair though, so Jesus' jack's not looking too good, but both players check.
Now we go to the turn card. It's the 7 of hearts, so Marco makes his flush. Jay checks over to Jesus, both players checking. Now we go to the river, the 4 of hearts, so disaster now for Marco. As the 4th heart comes on the board, Jay's going to scoop it. 1 and done for Marco. He's eliminated in 9th place, going home with just under $4,000 in cash.
And just after 1 hand, we already have our first knockout. I mean, at this pace, we get to go home early tonight. Come back for more of this high-flying action.
Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and Maria Ho. We lost 1 player before the break. 8 players still remain. They all want to be our newest HPT champion. With no further ado, let's head down to the final table.
Jay Bishop is our chip leader with $917,000. John Hart has 689,000. The other players are all pretty comfortable with their stacks until you get down to Jay Friedman here, who has 120,000, which is about 15 big blinds, and Shane Lee is our short stack with 81,000.
Let's get back to the action here at our final table. And action will start with Jesus. He folds. Gary folds. Over to Jonathan now in the 3 seat. Jonathan is a drummer. He enjoys playing the drums.
I'm sure his next door neighbors don't appreciate it as much. He raises to 19,000 with King Jack offsuit.
Now over to Jay Bishop. Jay won a big hand yesterday. He had pocket tens up against pocket aces. Caught a 10 on the turn. Started today as our chip leader and makes the call with 9-7.
It's very hard to make final tables in tournaments without getting lucky along the way, that's for sure.
Actually, Jay Friedman, he folds, so we go heads up to the flop now. Jay Bishop and Jonathan. The flop is an ace and 2 queens. Action starts with Jonathan. He's going to check over to Jay.
Check.
Jay checks as well.
The turn is the 8 of clubs. Jonathan is still ahead with his king high.
Action on the drummer. Jonathan Hart. Reaching for chips.
I've got a bet.
Probably expect Jay to just go away here. Jay's going to raise it to 45,000. Over now to Jonathan.
I think this is going to be enough to get Jonathan to fold.
And a fold.
And he does just that. So Jay Bishop putting on a little clinic here at the final table.
Once again, if you're in the studio,
Started the day as our chip leader with 820,000.
I had an ace.
HPT poker.
He said in his notes, and I'm reading it right here, please tell Maria to take it easy on me.
Well, Jay, I really like that play, so far so good.
Yeah, so far he's playing very well here at this final table. Action on Gary Gurman. We've seen him a lot here on the HPT. He looks down at pocket eights. This is his 4th HPT final table.
My name is Gary Gurman. I live in Gillette, Wyoming. I had a propane company for 30 years, which I sold a few years ago. I'm now an investor in the oil and gas business. This is my 4th HPT final table, and I would love to get some good cards and take it down.
Gary makes it 30,000 to go.
Folded around now to Jay Bishop. Looks down at pocket sevens. Stand by for the cooler, ladies and gentlemen. Jay thinking about re-raising here, possibly.
That is a 3-bet now by Mr. Jay Bishop.
And Jay does re-raise to 75,000. I don't think I like that too much. I think unless Gary has shown himself to be opening a lot and very active, I don't really see a point in 3-betting here with sevens. I think it's kind of the hand that you just call with and see the flop.
Jay Friedman and Jesus both folding, as does Chris. Now action over to the 1 seat of Shane. He's going to fold. And Gary's going to make the call. So it's 8s versus 7s, and we go to the flop.
Flop is 10, 6, deuce, 2 hearts. So Gary still has the best hand, but he checks it over to Jay, and Jay just very quickly puts Gary all in.
Wow, just like that. An all-in bet by Jay.
And I think if I were Gary, I would call. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a big overpair to me. I think Jay might have just bet the flop with an overpair instead of putting them all in.
Jay only has $975 invested in this event. The min cash today here for 9th place, just under 4,000, and up top 43,597. And Gary's going to make the call. They flip the cards over. Jay's going to see he's behind.
Okay, so at risk in the hand.
So Jay is looking for a 7 to knock Gary out.
He's got the 8s over the 7s. There are a couple of hearts out
Gary
there.
Gurman, 55 years old, 115,000 in live tournaments, but online he's won over 600,000.
Jack of hearts on the turn gives Jay a lot more outs. He does have the 7 of hearts in his hand, so Gary's going to need to fade a heart or a 7.
It's never easy, Gary. It's never easy. We go to that river card now. No heart. It's the Queen of Spades. The winner of the hand is Gary Gurman. He'll win that pot of $519,000. Like I said before, Gary making his 4th HPT final table. His plans for the cash are just to put it right back in his poker bankroll.
Blinds are 5,000, 10,000 with a 1K ante.
Action over now to the 3-seat of Jonathan. He folds over to Jay Bishop. Coming to you this week from Vicksburg, Mississippi, here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. James Larson and Maria Ho broadcasting. We're glad you could join us tonight here on the HPT.
Jay Bishop has pocket kings, and he raises it to 25,000.
Action now over to the other Jay, Jay Friedman. He's going to fold. Jesus looks down at ace-6. Wouldn't want to tangle up with Jesus. I can tell you that right now.
He does look like a tough guy.
He folds over now to the 9-seat of Chris.
Chris calls with ace-10 of clubs from the button.
Pocket 8s now for the 1-seat of Shane, and he folds.
It's a little bit of a tight fold. I mean, he does only have 9 big blinds, so he would have had to move in. I guess he just wants to pick a better spot.
And the flop is King, Jack, 7, couple of hearts. Nice flop for Jay. Flops a set of kings.
Chris has a gut shot to Broadway, though.
Jay checks over to Chris. Both players checking now. So we go to the turn card. It's another heart, this time the 5 of hearts. Jay's going to have to bet now. And he bets $25,000 over to Chris Lane, the graphics designer from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Let's go ahead and see that river card.
And the river is the Queen of Spades, and wow, Chris called with ace-10, no heart on the turn, and he has hit his gut shot for Broadway. Ooh, and Jay bets another small bet of $25,000.
I don't think Jay has any idea. Bets $25,000. Chris is going to raise to $75,000. Jay quickly calls. Those set of kings shrivel up real fast. Chris makes Broadway on the river. He's going to take down this pot of 273,000 chips. When we come back from this quick commercial break, we'll have more exciting final table action. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and Maria Ho broadcasting from Vicksburg, Mississippi, here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg.
Chris Lane has the chip lead with 617,000 in chips. Jonathan Hart, Jay Bishop, and Gary Gurman all have over $500,000 in chips. And our short stack is Shane Leah with 79,000.
All right, the blinds now 5K, 10K with a 1K ante. All right, action over to the 1-seat of Shane. 28 years old. He folds. To Jay Bishop. We call him the champ because he won this thing the last time we were in town. Jay's going to raise to $25,000 with Queen Jack. Fold it over now to the other Jay, Jay Friedman. Looks down at pocket 5s. It's from Queens, New York. Calls himself a poker weekend warrior. He's going to fold his pocket 5s.
I like that.
Fold it around now to that man, Chris Lane.
HPT events are kind of the perfect place for poker weekend warriors. That's the whole point, you know. You can win life-changing money in 3 days, go back to your job or not.
Right. And the flop is ace-10-4. Chris is first. His pocket 8s, 2 diamonds on the flop. He's going to bet $35,000 over to Jay Bishop.
Jay has a gut shot straight draw and 2 overs to Chris's pair. Maybe Jay wants to give Chris a taste of his own medicine and hit a Broadway draw on him.
And Jay is going to make the call.
And the turn is the 3 of hearts. And if Chris bets here again, I can only imagine that he's trying to get Jay to fold a better hand than his own.
Chris bets 40,000 chips.
And the question is does Jay want to call again for his gut shot? Because for all Jay knows, he doesn't think that hitting a queen or a jack would give him the best hand. He's looking for the king.
Jay's 47 years old from Pearl, Mississippi.
And Jay says, why call when you can raise? It worked so well last time.
Jay looks a little uneasy, though, with that raise. His table demeanor right here is, if Chris is looking at him, I think Chris is going to make the call here.
Chris does make the call, and, obviously there's a lot that we don't get to see, hands that these players have been involved with leading up to this final table, and maybe Chris knows that this is Jay's MO here to raise the turn as a bluff.
So we go to the river card now. It's the 5 of clubs. He's going to check it over to Jay.
Check.
So Jay decides to give up on his bluff, and Chris is more than happy to get a free showdown here on the river with 8s. He would have been a real tough spot if he was faced with another bet.
Chris said in his bio he plans to convert the cash he wins into pennies and fill up a kiddie pool and swim in it. Never read that one before?
I'm pretty sure he's not going to do that if he wins.
He's got $1,000 invested in this event. He's a 32-year-old graphic designer playing his first HPT final table. Gary Gurman's going to fold.
needed a diamond. And you could have bet all
Over
you
now to Jonathan. Haven't seen Jonathan do much here at this final table yet. He's reaching for chips now. Now he's going to fold. Fold it over to Jay Friedman now. He's going to fold over to Jesus. Jesus looks down at King 4 on the button. He's going to raise it up here on the button to 35,000 with his King 4. Over to the small blind of Chris. He's going to fold.
I'm glad I said that.
Now Shane in the big blind. Looks down at King Queen. And now a 3-bet shove by Shane.
That's over 100.
And Shane with just 8 big blinds doesn't have a whole lot of fold equity to Jesus's raise here on the button.
Jesus is getting a count.
I think Jesus is going to have to put the call in, but Shane will be in really good shape.
Shane likes football, baseball, and mathematics. I've never heard that one before either. Mathematics. Calculations and discipline at the final table. That's what he says are going to be his keys to winning this thing. And he's all in here with his King Queen going up against Jesus's King 4. And Jesus is going to make the call.
Way behind.
So Shane is happy to see that he has Jesus dominated. It's Shane's tournament life at risk, though. Doesn't want to get unlucky in this spot. Jesus looking for a 4.
And the flop is 8-5 tray, couple of diamonds. Shane trying to double up. Shane, by the way, works on a deepwater drill ship. He works 21 days on and has 21 days off. Sounds kind of like our schedule.
Turn is the 7 of hearts, so Shane is still looking good to double up. Jesus, though, does have a gut shot straight draw. A 6 will give him the straight, but pairing the 4 will give him the winning hand as well.
And a tray comes on the river, the tray of clubs. So Shane is going to win this hand and double up and keep his tournament hopes alive.
Shane just seems like he has a whole lot of interests, but I feel like when you have 21 days off, you should definitely have some hobbies.
Time to step aside to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have more exciting final table coverage as we come to you this week from Vicksburg, Mississippi, right here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel.
Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson and Maria Ho broadcasting here in Vicksburg, Mississippi at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. 8 players remaining. Only one will be our new champion and go home with the cash and the title.
Our chip leader is Jonathan Hart. He has 654,000 in chips. Chris Lane not too far behind him with 630,000. And our two short stacks are Jay Friedman and Ryan Enos.
Had a great time all week here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. Blinds are 5,000, 10,000 with a 1K ante. A lot of money on the line, as always, life-changing cash here on the HPT. And if you think you've got what it takes to play with these guys, well, why not give it a shot? You can check out our webpage at hptpoker.com. Find an event that will work for you, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. It's folded around now to Jay Friedman. Looks down at ace-10. And he's going to go all in. It's an all-in raise by Jay Friedman. Folded around out of the 9 seat of Chris. Chris folds over to the 1 seat of Shane. And Shane looks down at pocket queens.
Huge hand for Shane, especially with his stack. He's only got 14 big blinds, so of course he's more than ecstatic to see queens.
Yes, a count has been requested by Claire.
You're going to get an exact count here of the all-in by Jay.
96,000 is what I got. Is that right?
And I think Shane is just posturing a bit, not wanting to give away the strength of his hand in case any of the other players want to come in behind him. But he is going to go all in and isolate, I'm sure.
The E7 seat. Jay Friedman.
I'm all in.
He does just that. Shane goes all in. Gary Gurman quickly folds. So it's Jay Friedman against Shane Lee.
Hi, I'm Jay Friedman. I'm excited to be here at the Ameristar Vicksburg for the HPT final table. Hopefully this will be my first victory. And I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a used car dealer. Been in the car business 20 years, and I'm really excited to be here and hopefully win this thing.
And the flop is King 5-4.
King 4.
2 spades on the flop. Jay does have the ace of spades in his hand.
By the way, Jay wanted to say hi to his daughter. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday to Jay Friedman's daughter. I'm sure she's watching. 10 of spades now on the turn.
That opens up some possibilities for Jay. He's looking for an ace, a 10, or a spade on the river.
Ace, 10, or spades. So he's got outs, Maria. Shane hoping his queens hold up. We go to the river.
River's the 4 of diamonds, so that's not going to do it for Jay Friedman here. He is going to be our 8th place finisher, and he's going to take home over $5,000. I'm sure he would have liked to stick around longer, but you know it's tough when you get short in these tournaments and you don't pick up much in the way of hands.
Congratulations to Jay Friedman. I'm sure we'll see him very soon here at another HPT stop. But that man right there wins the pot. Shane Lee in seat number 1. Blinds of 5,000, 10,000 with a 1K ante. It's James and Maria coming to you from the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. 43,597 up top. That man won it the last time we were here. Jay Bishop looks down at King 8 of diamonds. He's going to raise to 25,000. Over to Jesus.
You know, what I've noticed from these players are they're fairly tight so far. I think all of them have been playing on the tighter side. I think early on in these final tables, players are kind of trying to get adjusted to playing a TV final table. And so there's not been a lot of loose opens or, you know, kind of crazy 3-bets. But maybe we'll see more of that as we get short-handed.
Action now to Jonathan in the big blind. He's going to make the call. Heads up to the flop, Jay Bishop and Jonathan Hart. And the flop is 6 tray deuce. Jonathan out flops Jay. He's first. He's going to check over to Jay. Jay with only $975 invested in this tournament. Both players check the 6 tray deuce, and now the turn card is the deuce of clubs.
So Jonathan has the best hand here with 6s and deuces. I think it's time for him to bet. Might get Jay to call him with king high.
I have a bet.
And it's a bet of 30,000 chips by Jonathan.
30,000. 30,000 chip bet. 3-0 by the 3 seat. 30 and a call. 30,000 chip.
And Jay's going to make the 30,000 chip call.
Let's go ahead and see the river, please.
River card now, the 7 of hearts.
Action starts once again.
We start with Jonathan.
I think this is the kind of situation where you probably put Jay on, ace high or something like that. So you should try to go for a value bet here.
Jonathan's going to check. We'll see if Jay decides to bet.
Same 30.
And he does just that. He's going to bet 30,000 chips. Jonathan quickly calls. He flips over his cards, and he's going to win this pot of 182,000 chips.
And I think when Jonathan checks the river over to Jay, I don't like that he decided to take that spot to bluff, because I think it seems likely that Jonathan checks, because I think it's very likely that when Jonathan bets the turn and then checks the river, that he has a hand that he can call a river bet with.
Jonathan is from Jackson, Mississippi, $200,000 in lifetime earnings. He enjoys playing the drums, and his favorite hand, pocket aces. Imagine that. Action over to the 1 seat now, Shane Lee. This guy works on a deep water drill. I said he works 21 days on, 21 days off. Obviously, he's on his 21-day off stretch right now. Playing real well at this HPT final table. It's folded over to Jay Bishop. He's going to raise it up to 25,000 with 10-9 of clubs.
And Jay has shown that he's most willing to mix it up here at this final table so far. Willing to take some spots as bluffs and, open a fair amount of hands.
Chris makes the call on the big blind with ace-10.
Flop is ace-king 5, 2 hearts. So Chris has connected with top pair here. But, you can count on Jay to bet for you.
You can always count on Jay to throw chips into the middle. And now Chris is going to raise to 75,000. We'll see if Jay can get away from this.
And I don't know if I like this raise. I think Chris could just call here and get Jay to try to fire again on the turn. I think that Chris knows he has the best hand, but when he raises, he's kind of letting Jay off the hook for the next few streets.
Jay Bishop trying to win his second title here in Vicksburg, Mississippi, at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. He's going to fold, and the winner of the hand is Chris Lane, the graphic designer from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. All right, Maria, it's time to step aside here from the felt as we bring you a Poker Life with Doyle Brunson.
His name was Gene Dodson. He was an older man. He was probably 75 or 80 years old at this point. His son, I remember, took Ginger Rogers to the high school dance. But he was a poker player, very tight and everything. And we're playing ace to 5 low ball again. Nobody gave him any action unless, had good hands. And he picked up a 6-4 pat. And I drew one and made a wheel and beat him. And the poor guy just grabbed his chest and just fell over dead again. So that was 2 of them that I saw. Both low ball, by the way.
Time to step aside and take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have more exciting final table coverage as we come to you this week from Vicksburg, Mississippi, right here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson and Maria Ho coming to you from Vicksburg, Mississippi, here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. Only 7 players remain, Maria.
Chris Lane and Jonathan Hart, 1 and 2 in chips, fairly close to each other. Jesus Cabrera trying to catch the 2 of them. He's got 580,000. Ryan Enos, though, needs a lifeline. He's got 7 big blinds here, struggling to find a spot to double up.
All right, blinds are going up now, 6,000, 12,000 with a 2K ante.
All right, under the gun, we have a fold.
Folded over to the 1 seat of Shane Lee. He folds over to Gary Gurman now, wakes up with pocket queens. Gary, a regular on the HPT. It's his 4th final table. We had a good time with Gary on the HPT Cruise. He final tabled that event. Final tabled Indigo Sky as well as Blackhawk, Colorado. He's going to raise to 35,000 with his pocket queens.
A lot of big hands being passed around here at this final table. But it doesn't seem like people are getting maximum action from their big hands. And, it's because of what I said. I think this table has been playing fairly tight.
Jonathan's going to fold, and now over to Jay Bishop. He looks down at pocket aces. Once again, cue the fireworks.
He delivered it on that. Oh, wow.
See if we get a 3-bet now out of Jay. And he does just that. It's a 3-bet shove by Jay Bishop.
And I don't think Gary's going to be able to fold queens, although, like I said, people have been making good laydowns.
Jesus folds his pocket deuces, and now over to Gary Gurman. He's going to make the call.
And just a cooler here at the final table.
Jay Bishop smiles as the cards are flipped over. Jay trying to double up and win his second HPT championship right here in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
I like the way you think, though. He's got more.
Flop is King 8-5, 2 clubs, so no help to Gary. He's still looking for a queen.
Turn card, the 4 of clubs. No help for Gary Gurman. He's hoping to catch one of the remaining queens left in the deck. Otherwise, Jay's going to win the hand and double up. You don't want to give more chips to Jay Bishop. River card, another 4, this time the 4 of hearts. So Jay is going to win the hand.
So Jay's going to win this hand and double up through Gary Gurman, leaving Gary awfully short with just 9 big blinds.
Jay wins with his pocket aces. Interesting story. Yesterday, Jay won a big hand. He had pocket 10s, went up against pocket aces, but he turned a 10, and he won the hand. He's at this final table. Like I said before, hoping to win his second championship. The last time we were here just a few months ago. He took down this title, and he's trying to do it again tonight. It's folded around now to Jonathan Hart. He's going to raise to $28,000 with the old 10-4 of clubs. Why not, Maria?
And I guess Jonathan decides, since he has the chip lead, might as well open up his game a bit.
I'm just kind of waiting for one of these players to just really take over this final table, to take charge, and I think Jonathan is about to do that. Jay does make the call with his Queen-Jack. Folded around now to Chris. Looks down at a suited 9-5. He folds. Now over to Shane Lee. He's going to make the call with King-Queen. 3 ways to the flop. Shane, Jay, and Jonathan.
And the flop is Queen 10-5. That gives both Shane and Jay top pair, but Shane has the better kicker. Jonathan's got middle pair.
Shane checks over to Jonathan. Jonathan is going to check. Action now on Jay Bishop. Never afraid to make a wager. He's going to bet 50,000 chips. Over now to Shane. He's a deep water driller. Shane makes the call, 50,000. Over to Jonathan now. He's going to fold. Heads up now to the turn we go.
The turn is the King of Hearts, so Shane has improved to top 2 pair. Jay now has an open-ended straight draw to go with his pair of queens.
Shane and Jay both check that King of Hearts on the turn. And we go to the river, and it's the Ace of Clubs.
And that's unfortunate for Shane. He just got rivered. Jay now bets 100,000, and I don't think Shane's going to fold.
Just an unfortunate card there for Shane on the river.
It is a big part of Shane's stack, though, to call this 100,000. He only started this hand with 270,000. But, you know, Jay probably has a bit of a reputation for bluffing.
Things going well now for Jay Bishop. Picking up where he was last time we were here in Vicksburg, as he was our champion. Action on Shane, as you can see, 100,000 chips for him to call.
It's definitely not a good run out for his hand, but in this situation, he does make the call, I think, just on account of Jay's willingness to bluff.
Top 2.
Fortunately for Shane, he's going to see the bad news here, and Jay's going to pick up another pot.
He had him all the way until the river. The winner of the hand, Jay Bishop. When we come back, we'll have more exciting final table action. You're watching the HPT.
Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson, Maria Ho. We're in Vicksburg, Mississippi at the Ameristar Casino Hotel. 7 players remain. We've seen some great poker this week.
Jonathan Hart is still our chip leader. He has 861,000. Jay Bishop has 766,000. Shane Lee has 7 big blinds, and Ryan Enos is hanging on by a thread with 4 big blinds.
Great to be back here in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We've had fun all week and seen a lot of great poker action, and that continues tonight here on this final table. Action folded now to the 1 seat of Shane. Shane folds. Gary folds. Now over to Jonathan on the button.
And we've seen Jonathan widen his opening range with his chip lead, and now he also has position here. So he's going to raise to 28K with 8-6 suited.
Now over to Jay in the small blind. Jay makes the call.
Jay has ace-5 of clubs, so he has Jonathan dominated. And poor Ryan, just really desperately looking for any hand that looks somewhat playable for him and his 4 big blind stack. And even with 1 big blind in there, that one's not going to do it.
He's going to fold, so we go heads up to the flop. Jonathan and Jay.
Let's see the flop, please.
The flop is king 5 deuce, 2 diamonds. So Jay has middle pair here. Jonathan hasn't connected at all.
Jay's going to check over to Jonathan. And both players checking that flop of king 5 deuce.
And he checks. Okay, let's see the turn.
So we go to the turn card now. Turn card is the ace of diamonds, improving Jay's hand.
Now I think Jay has to bet. He doesn't want to let Jonathan see another free card. But I guess he feels like he might have a better chance of getting Jonathan to bet now.
Jay checks over to Jonathan. Just when you think you got Jay figured out, Jonathan bets 18,000.
I think if I were Jay, I would check raise this board. I don't think it's very likely Jonathan would have checked back a flush draw in position on the flop.
Is a call.
And then Jay's going to make the call.
Just 2,000 change for
Pot size now of 118,000 chips.
All right, let's go ahead and see the river card, please. River card.
And the river is the 10 of spades, so Jay checks it again to Jonathan, but Jonathan's not going to bet it for him this time.
Jay never really felt good about it, but he's going to flip over the cards and realize he's going to win the pot. That's Jay Bishop from Pearl, Mississippi. He won this thing the last time we were here, and he's trying to do that again tonight. Up top, $43,597. Second place is $26,000 and change, just over $17,000 for third. Your min cash today for seventh place, $6,539.
Bad feeling when it hit me.
Action will start with that young man right there, Jonathan Hart, who looks down at 6 tray. He folds.
But you still call.
Jay Bishop looking down at ace-8 offsuit, and he folds.
Oh, don't worry. I've done that.
Finally, a hand for Ryan Enos just in time. He has ace-jack of hearts, but oh, so unfortunate that Jesus wakes up with ace-king behind him. Can't really fault Ryan for moving his very short stack in the middle.
Just nothing happening today for Ryan Enos.
Hi, my name is Ryan Enos. I'm from Corinth, Mississippi, and I'm a financial advisor. And I feel fortunate to be at the final table, and I'm ready to get it going.
So Ryan, after waiting this long for a hand to go all in with, finds that he is in really bad shape for his tournament life. He's looking for a jack in order to double up and stay alive.
Ace King versus Ace Jack. Both players stand up. Do you stand up when you're all in, Maria?
No, I feel like
either.
I feel like you're kind of saying that you're not going to win when you're behind, and we've seen people get lucky before, so you have to have faith.
Flop is King 4 tray.
Well, that's not good news for Ryan. He could probably stand up
Yeah,
now.
he might want to think about yeah, you can stand up now.
He needs running jacks or running straight cards.
Turn card is the 10 of clubs, so that is one of the cards that will fit right into Ryan's hand.
So now Ryan needs a queen on the river. Otherwise, he's going to become our 7th place finisher.
Jesus looks a little nervous because in poker it's not over till that river card, but the 4 of hearts will seal the deal. Jesus wins the hand. Ryan is eliminated, going out in 7th place, 6,539. He's a financial advisor, so I'm sure he knows where to put the money, and he'll put it to good use. Coming to you from Vicksburg, Mississippi, Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg, James Larson and Maria Ho with you. Glad you could join us tonight on the episode. Chris is going to make the call with Queen 8 of spades. Shane and Gary both fold. Action over now to Jonathan Hart. Likes to play the drums in his spare time. Probably wears the sunglasses while he plays the drums.
Jay Bishop looks down at pocket queens.
Then Jay's going to raise to 62,000.
It's kind of a big raise here with 2 limpers.
Chris is going to make the call. Jonathan Hart's getting out of the way. We go heads up to the flop. Jay with his pocket queens going up against the Queen 8 of Chris. And the flop is Jack 10-9. Chris flops the straight.
Jay has an overpair to the board and a straight draw.
So Jay checks. Chris bets 75,000. Chris flopped the straight.
Jay makes the call.
Turn card now is the Jack of spades. So 2 pair for Jay. Chris has the straight. He's going to bet. So check to him. He bets 125,000. I don't think Jay Bishop can go anywhere. If a king comes, they split the pot.
If a queen or a jack comes on the river, though, Jay would have a full house.
And an 8 Maria on the river would be a chop as well. There's a lot going on in this hand.
Jay does make the call here.
Probably the most important river card we've seen all night. And the river card is the 10 of clubs. Jay's going to check it over to Chris. And Chris is going to check. They flip over their cards.
And Chris didn't seem too happy about that board double pairing there, but he is going to be pleasantly surprised to see that he does still have the best hand with the straight here.
And Chris is going to win a pot of 548,000 chips. Time to take a quick commercial break. We're having a lot of fun down here in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and Maria Ho broadcasting from Vicksburg, Mississippi here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel Vicksburg. 6 players remain.
Chris Lane is our chip leader. He has 885,000. Jonathan Hart has 712,000. Jesus Cabrera has climbed the chip counts nicely. He has 657,000. And our short stack is Shane Lee with 50,000 in chips.
Shane Lee just kind of holding on for dear life. Blinds are 6,000, 12,000 with a 2K ante. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight here on the HPT. And it's great to be back in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Start the action with that man right there, Chris Lane. Looks down at King Jack. He makes the call. Over to Shane. We just talked about he's only got 50,000 chips left.
I feel like judging by those arms, I feel like Shane and Jesus could kind of
right.
get into a scuffle later. I don't know who would win, actually.
Fold it over to Jonathan.
Jonathan looks down at Queen 5 of diamonds. He sees that Chris is just limped in, though.
Jonathan is from Jackson, Mississippi. He's got over 200,000 lifetime earnings. He's going to make the call with Queen 5 of diamonds. Jay is going to fold. Now action over to Jesus.
Jesus looks down at Ace King, and he is going to raise.
So raise now to 91,000.
I think these raise sizes are really, really big in these limped pots. I just don't think you are trying to take it down pre-flop. You don't mind getting one caller. I don't think that there's any reason to raise so much that you just get everybody else to fold.
Chris folds, as does Jonathan, and the winner of the hand is Jesus Cabrera. Jesus says he's hoping to just play his best poker, and whatever happens, happens, but he says he doesn't like to lose. I just hope he doesn't get angry if he does lose.
All right, Maria, that's all the time we have on tonight's show, but next week we'll have the conclusion, and one of these final 6 players will be our new champion. So, do you have any predictions?
Yeah, I really like the way Chris Lane has been playing. I think the other players are kind of playing a little more passively, and I think they really need to step up the aggression if they want to have a chance to take this down.
And I think the real story is Jay Bishop. Will he win another title here in Vicksburg? You'll have to find out next week on the HPT. Now, before we go, if you're watching this and you think you have what it takes to play at this final table, why not give it a shot? Just head on over to our webpage at hptpoker.com. Find an event that will work for you, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. For Maria Ho, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time on the HPT.